All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here, of course, for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Part 3, Episode 4. Yes.
Ooh,
that's
okay.
a mouthful to say.
Yeah, unless we were going to say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, Part 3.
Well, no, because Stardust Crusaders Part 3 are two separate things. But
okay, I don't know.
We are getting back into this. They're on the plane.
The adventure has begun.
Dio. Yes, the adventure has begun. and
they have encountered an enemy already on the plane in the form of a fly.
Yes, exactly.
With its, like,
the mandible
vision thing and stuff.
And all that. Now,
what if this is...
We need some more Dio, I think.
I could say, yes, we do need some more Dio. I want to know where Dio's at right now. Not literally geographically, because that was the whole focus of the last episode, but where is his head at?
How has it changed in 100 years?
Yeah, what is similar, what is different, and what is his goal beyond just killing the Joestars? Because I feel like Dio is the kind of person who would need some kind of goal that's like a minor goal on his way towards the bigger goals.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not gonna go immediately to world domination, I think. I mean, he might.
He might start local, but...
He might be a baby steps kind of guy who believes in the art of achieving small, smart goals along the way.
That's right.
That's right. No, I'm turning into a Dio fanboy.
He has a 5-year plan in his bedroom, and a 10-year and a 20-year.
Oh my gosh.
It's a bucket list.
Yeah. But I'm really interested to see how they incorporate his stand, because he obviously is going to have a stand.
Well, yeah.
But incorporate how he has aspects of all their powers or something like that into his own.
Yep.
That would be really, really curious. Mm-hmm. Also, this is the first JoJo's Bizarre Adventure kind of setup where it actually seems like they're going on an adventure.
Right.
And will this adventure just go to Egypt and then it's over, or
I don't think so. I mean,
more?
They went to even more places than that in Part 2, and Part 2 was like how many episodes? Like 17.
Yeah.
So
good point. All right. Well, this is gonna be fun. So without further ado, let's get into this episode and see what happens.
Let's not give him any ammo, though. All right.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of late for that. I think we already accidentally gave him some. Oh, who is this? Oh, it's someone training Dio. Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa.
I like that Dio has henchmen that seem to be like we should take them seriously.
Right. That's a big freaking fly to make that much noise.
I don't think that's a fly.
Rhinoceros beetle. Oh, that's right. It was a beetle.
Stag beetle.
Is that a stand?
No, that's just a random rhinoceros beetle.
Has to be a stand.
Yeah, that is huge.
Good lord.
Yeah. Okay.
Do not want. It's too small. It's hard to.
Just like Saitama.
Yep. Oh, it's brilliant having it be in a plane because they can't just attack random people hoping.
But why are none of the people freaking out about the fact that this is happening?
Because they can't see it. They can't see the stands.
Sure. But they're still yelling and getting out of their seats and everything.
Yeah. So you've encountered this one before, Abdul. Oh.
Alright.
Okay. Tower of Grey.
Yes, just punch a bazillion times.
Yep. Oh. It's speaking from the bug.
From 1 centimeter away.
Is it trying to split them up?
I think it's trying to trick him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, or use the people on the plane as... Oh.
Oh!
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, crap!
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. What the heck?
Alright.
Okay. He woke up. Yeah, you guys have to be careful in here. Oh,
The
really?
power of my poses says otherwise. And that won't, like, break a hole in the fuselage. Oh, yeah, that's kind of an issue. If they grabbed its tongue, could they just pull it in?
Oh, that's an idea. Oh.
It didn't already rip out his tongue?
Oh! Nice!
Alright. Sure.
Oh, even better!
Nice.
He was restricting its movement to that area. Whoa. I don't think this is over yet. Yeah. Whoa. I know that. Wow. Wow.
Really?
Oh, whoa there. Yes. Yes, it is inexcusable. Oh, crap.
Okay.
Or maybe he just killed them. Oh, they're
That's
descending
bad.
rapidly. Yep. I knew it wasn't over.
Oh.
Oh, dang. Just wear you out.
So this is maybe how the adventure starts. They can't get to Egypt easily.
Yeah. Holy crap.
He's not standing no more.
Ha.
さすがプロ中のプロ。悲鳴を上げないのは鬱陶しくなくて、このジジイがこの木をこれから海上に不時着させる。
Okay. Joe's like, I'm gonna do it. This is my third time, yeah.
And didn't he crash the other times?
Oh, wow. They
He
survived.
actually did it.
Good job.
飛行機が不時着したのは香港沖
35
km 地点
They have to make the rest of their way there a little bit more of a roundabout way. Haha.
周辺に浮かぶ235余りの島々を要し
乗客は我々のしてくれ。そうだ、これ以上犠牲者を出すわけにはいかんからな。それから
Speedwagon Foundation talking with.
Yeah, probably.
This guy's connections.
あんたら観光客か日本とは違って香港では主食としてお粥を食べることが多いんだじゃあ
Gotcha.
Watch, they're probably gonna just do an amazing job animating the food.
Right? Clever. It's a clever way for them to slow the journey down a little bit.
Unless they manage to like buy a plane or something.
True. Yeah. Halfway around the world in 50 days? Yes! Around the world in 80 days! Yes! I was just joking about this!
We only have to go a quarter of that way.
Right. And here is number 5. Cool. He's so cultured.
Yeah.
Ah.
I'm not at all a main character.
Right.
やかましい向こうへ行くおいおい丈太郎まあいいじゃないかこれとこれとこれあとこれももらおうかな
He's ordering a lot of food. Nice.
I mean, they have to eat big, stay big, you know?
カエルの料理に見えますわしのおごりだ何を注文しても結構うまいものや
Okay.
Joseph, oh my gosh.
食べよううんどうじゃうまいもんだろ
Food. Wow, that is pretty cool. Star Platinum. Oh, dang. Oh. What?
All right. Yeah. Here we go.
危ないスタンドだ
Whoa.
Yes. I am so on board with this.
Fencer.
Huh.
The chariot card. Silver chariot.
そのテーブルに日時計を作った日が12時を燃やすまでに
Whoa.
貴様を
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do this. I mean, in the next episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so the main part of the journey of this adventure is going to be the journey because they're far away.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. But wouldn't one of the best things to do to just get like a little like propeller plane like what Joseph's used to, and then just take that there, or at least as far as it'll go?
I think the problem is that there's borders. They would have to constantly land and refuel, and then from there, there's all the all the issues that come with that. The other option is they could then have the Speedwagon Foundation potentially send a plane, but they might not have that much resources to leverage with the Speedwagon Foundation.
Sure.
Like, Joseph might not be completely made of money, you know?
Sure. I'm really excited to see what this new stand can do.
Walk like an Egyptian. All
right.
right.
So we have our fifth member of the band.
And
they directly referenced Around the World in 80 Days.
Yeah, I didn't notice a bug controlling him. At least it might be in a different
I didn't
place.
either. Nope. Like,
so I wonder if this one is different from Kakyoin.
So. I think so.
In this case, this character has maybe some kind of honor-bound duty to Dio or something. That would actually be an interesting complexity. Is say he has he's not directly controlled by Dio, but he is under Dio's influence by his own choice,
or
potentially.
They could also do something where, because they have 5 characters right now.
Right.
Now, I don't know, they probably won't go as much depth into them as, like, say they did with Caesar, right? They might.
Potentially.
They could, like, maybe they have more time so they can do that.
I think they'll do it about as much depth as Caesar, in my opinion.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit less.
But what
Barely.
I'm hoping is that they don't have too, like, I would prefer if they didn't have multiple people that are the I was a slave to Dio, but now I'm helping you. You know, kind of thing.
I think that that's where this can be different, is that he's going to join their party, you know, eventually.
Because he was in the opening.
Right. But he doesn't have to be a slave at this point. If anything, the way he approached them seemed almost not tactically sound. It would have made more sense for him to become their friend, join them on the boat, and sneakily try and kill them off one by one.
Well,
instead, what I think he's doing is he's challenging them to a duel, almost in a way.
Okay, so it could be that he's honorable. It could also potentially be that... Now, it might be a little bit weird if they do this, but they could do something where he... maybe he actually wants to defeat Dio. And because they basically jumped to the wrong conclusions, because I don't think they said anything about... like, oh, I will defeat you for Dio, or something like that.
That's true.
So it could be something where he basically mentioned that whole star thing. They freaked out. They're like, and then he's like, oh crap, they must be some of Dio's henchmen. And then he prepares. He's like, I'm going to kill you.
I don't think that's necessarily it. I
mean, it'd be kind of, it would be a little bit of a, like, not a letdown, but it'd seem a bit strange since they built up to the fight, and then if they had something like, oh, it was all a misunderstanding. Oh, okay.
I think that they'll find a clever way to work with it. It's JoJo's.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not too worried about that. But if anything, this is turning into kind of a literal adventure.
Like I'm thinking,
like not a thriller.
Right, exactly. It's going for more of like a almost Lord of the Rings feel to it.
Yes, Lord of the Rings. That's a great way to describe it, because Lord of the Rings has slice of life elements in it,
or at least they have a lot of traveling.
Yes, a lot of traveling. But my point is that the goal is urgent, but it's not urgent enough to where you feel the pressure of them needing to go as fast as possible 100% of the time.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
If anything, you get these constant intermittent reminders in the form of enemy stand users who will basically remind them, Dio's out there.
Yeah, and Lord Malak was most displeased.
Yes. But in this case, they're going to do this Jules Verne style and around the world to Egypt in 50 days, 10,000 kilometers in 50 days, that's, what is that, 200 kilometers a day? Yeah, I'd say by boat you could probably do double that, I would say.
Yeah. I mean,
pretty easily.
I don't know. This is in the 80s, so who knows?
No, it's in the 90s.
Oh yeah, 90s. That's right.
Yeah. No, I think they could do pretty well.
Yeah.
I could also see where this is an aspect of them having to use multiple forms of transportation, and each time they try out a fast one, it gets them a large portion of the way there, and they think, we're going to do well. But then a stand user comes up and slows them down more and more and more until they're on foot by the time they actually get to Egypt.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, like, if they could get something that's like a smaller plane, that might work well. Because I mean, I guess that wouldn't take them as far. But
okay, but I think we're harping too much on what would be the best form of transportation. Yeah. This is JoJo's, for instance.
Exactly. They set it up of, hey, air isn't an option, so we'll just go with that, and then see what they do as far as land and sea and stuff, and what they see along the way.
Right.
Yeah. I was really surprised at how much detail they went into with the menu and like the food items and
slice of life, man.
And like, you know, the little courtesy things of how you ask for more tea, how you say thank you, and all those little things. I'm like, cool. I did not know I wanted this, but it is here, and I love it.
But the thing is, that's endearing us to Kakyoin, and that's why I'm not worried about a fifth member joining the party. Is they're going to provide their own unique perspective on things that the other characters just won't have. Avdol is probably the true stand master amongst them all. Kakyoin has a very unique stand, but he seems to be a more laid-back, cultured individual who is at his heart a gentleman, but is also, deeply, has negative association with Dio because of what Dio did to him.
Yes.
Joseph, I could see being the comic character in that. He has these moments where he's like, hot cola? Everyone knows it's supposed to be cold. How could you?
Yep.
We're going to go to my friend's shop. Why would we eat here?
I thought they were going to bring something up where, like, his friend's shop is, like, someone that, like, some relation to some previous character or something like that. Not
need to
like
do that.
actually like the grandson of Stroheim or anything like that. But
In Hong Kong, no less.
yeah, why not?
That's where the Nazis fled. Oh my gosh. Okay, it wasn't in Argentina. Anyways,
But I like that they're setting up that like Joseph is this old guy, so
he's curmudgeon-y.
He's curmudgeon-y, yeah. And that means that doesn't just mean that he's like the tsundere grandpa, but that also means that he knows his way around the block.
That's true. He's got experience.
Exactly.
He doesn't have great experience with planes because they always end up crashing when he's on them.
Sometimes intentionally, in fact, 100% of the time.
Actually, not always, because he did fly over to Japan in order to actually kickstart this whole.
But anytime
this
he
whole thing.
flew a plane.
Anytime he flew a plane, that's true.
Even technically with that plane there, he flew it so that it could do an improvised landing.
That's true.
So,
You see, that wasn't crashing; it was falling with style.
yeah, they're like, oh no, this plane's gonna crash. Who has the most experience with crashing planes properly? Joseph!
Well, I don't think it makes sense for any of the other characters, given how young they are, to have any experience with that.
It doesn't
And
make
Avdol-
sense for them to be of those physical proportions either.
Yeah.
as young
But
as they are.
Avdol probably being the one person who's like, well, no, we've paid for public transport. Why would I take
Sure.
flight lessons randomly?
Right,
That would
yeah.
be one of those funny things where the D&D group's like, okay, I secretly maxed out my piloting, stat. Like, really?
Yeah. When did this happen?
Yeah.
exactly?
But okay, with them introducing a steady, intermittent flow of stands, I'm interested to see if this is a foreshadowing of the more like crazy stands that will come in the future, or if this is just showing a way of world building that stands can literally be anything. Or is it both?
I think both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What really piqued my interest that I did not expect.
Uh-huh.
Like I did not see this coming.
Oh,
was
the bit with the beginning with Dio.
with Dio
Yeah.
and the old lady.
Yeah.
Like that anytime
Yeah.
because that would from first appearance that seems to fit the mentor archetype.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of
Just a
Dio having a mentor
That's scary.
that's
terrifying.
That's interesting.
What's interesting, but also they were dialoguing.
Yes,
And this is one of the
yes.
things that usually they do is they give the mentor a monologue. And
Sure.
the mentoree essentially will just sit there and be like, so good.
Or I'm gonna do this instead,
Right.
Yeah.
But in this case, Dio was asking questions. There was dialogue, and I'm like,
it didn't
wait a minute.
seem like she was a slave or a zombie or someone
Right.
like obsessively under his influence. I mean, maybe that's what.
So
she was
maybe
helping,
she's
but-
one of his other stand users that is like a mini boss, that
Yeah.
they'll have to face at some
Yeah.
point. This is the way they can build her up, is that she's got the wise witch sage kind of
Dio
look.
treats her not as an equal, but as a
a respected individual.
As a respected individual,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes. You are not at my level, but you are not a bottom tier trash.
Exactly.
Just essentially a body for him to play with, because that's essentially what he was doing. Dio apparently had some pent up needs the last 100 years, and
Why he just randomly killed that one girl?
no, he turned
Who
her.
knows?
Wait, that's a good point.
No,
I don't think he
think
necessarily would have turned her, because he probably was, doing the JoJo's vampire thing of drinking for gaining power back. But before he's gonna do that, he might as well have sex with him. So,
yeah.
I guess so,
Well, why
Dio.
not?
I
Yeah.
mean, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's another thing to build up and remind us how despicable Dio is, in that he uses people, disposes them. He is the Machiavellian slave master, toying with people from the darkness.
Yeah, people are nothing to him.
People are nothing to him.
Yeah.
And yet, it's also adding an extra element of the fear thing, which is what we've been experiencing in the monster,
Right.
with Johann. And I like that they're delving into this here, because in the presence of absolute fear of something that's so unknown, almost bring up the eldritch kind of thing where
sure.
when a human being encounters something that's so
beyond their
understanding and yet brings them into such a state of fear, they're theorizing in this, and I don't know if this is even remotely true, that a human being would experience some sort of elation at encountering essentially a god, you know,
right?
something
Or
that,
I think what they might be saying is that that's not what it's like in general, but with Dio, that's what it's like, and it might be because
of his vampire qualities,
of his vampire
like
qualities,
his magnetic attraction.
Yeah, but
sorry
it could
guys,
also,
I'm not trying to pick up magnets.
But it could also be something along the lines of because your brain basically, you know, floods you with drugs pretty much to get you to do the things that it needs you to do, right?
Yep.
So it could be that what they're hypothesizing basically is that because the fear is so extreme,
right,
their brain drugs them up to the point where it is like a high.
Oh, cool. I like that.
I mean, I don't like.
No, that makes sense. So basically, you have all of the chemicals that trigger, you know, with the amygdala for the survival instinct. But in this case, your brain doesn't know how to interpret this level of fear. This isn't basic level darkness. This is advanced darkness.
Yes.
And your brain just says all the chemicals. You get confused, and instead you latch onto the one that is the most, that feels the best, because it's, you know, you don't want to delve into the darker areas.
Sure.
So your brain actually rejects the whole survival instinct, and you feel some elation at the idea of feeling something you've never felt. This is so ridiculous for us to talk about this in a JoJo's episode, but hey, they went into it, so we might as well too.
Yeah, but
That's interesting because with Dio, I've always wondered why they didn't go the route more so in Phantom Blood, where when he, you know, was brought into the story, there would be characters that would just be like, "Oh, you're disgusting, you're a monster," but he would never really try the alluring side of vampires that, you know, have been a thing throughout vampire history, so to speak. And yet now it's more of a thing, maybe because he's combined with the Joestar body. Maybe it's because his vampire powers have just gotten stronger because he's older, technically.
Or because they've just decided we want to change up the powers at play here a little bit.
Yeah. But I don't think it's really important in the grand scheme of things why he's like this. That he's like this means that it's giving maybe extra words to what Avdol experienced that they talked about in the previous episode, where he felt the charisma, the attraction, and it was like, it was actually pulling him in, but he was able to snap out of it quick enough because he knew who Dio was, and he booked it out of there really quickly.
One other thing that was really cool
interesting
with the mentor lady, it wasn't just that they had her be in there, but the fact that when they introduced Dio, they had the contrast of Dio literally using people just as bodies that he would dispose of, and then contrasting that with the person who's the wise mentor figure or whatever that he's actually conversing with. Having those two things happening at the same time does way more for building up the mentor figure than if they were simply to be talking with Dio in some like random hallway.
For sure, definitely. But, wow. Okay, I'm really curious to where they're gonna take this, because Dio right now, like Dio's character right now seems to be formulating
figuring out what he wants to do.
Yeah, but I think it's even more than that. He's even figuring out a little bit of how he's going to relate to humanity. Because my thought is, if he has a stand, he's now transcended the vampire realm of things, right?
Yeah.
He has the powers of a Joestar and the powers of Dio. And they've merged together in this body, right? So therefore he has access to stands of people like Joseph, for instance.
Sure.
And he had those vines on his hand as well, which looked very
like
similar to Holly's.
Yeah.
So maybe he's trying to figure out his own identity. Maybe he's on a little bit of an identity search. And he's bringing these people and seeing if they have actually any value to add to him. And if they don't, he sends them on to go stop the Joestars.
Right. And in a lot of ways that kind of makes sense, because it's this idea that if he sees himself as being above humanity,
what is he
exactly? Because if he wouldn't really have an identity at that point with, say, the Pillarmen, they had each other. They
were a
pillarmen.
species.
They were exactly.
Yeah.
So that was where they found their grounding, right? Whereas in the case of Dio,
He's alone.
he's alone.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons. It's kind of like that Joker Batman thing where they need each other even though they want to destroy each other.
Oh, so maybe he is sending. This is kind of the classic, Machiavellian villain where
He's trying to find.
he's trying to see if basically the Joestars remaining
Are
are
like him.
worthy enough
Yeah.
to be like him. Are they actually someone who he should even entertain them?
Right.
Or should he just to leave Egypt, go somewhere else, have them run on this merry wild goose chase,
Right.
and then eventually
They have no way to know if he
encounter
just
them whenever he
changes
wants?
locations.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But him staying in Egypt means I think he's going on a little bit of his own training arc, I would say.
Yeah, whatever that
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah, not necessarily that he's doing a literal kind of shonen training bit, but
Right.
he is
But I wouldn't
he's
be-
developing himself.
I wouldn't be surprised though if the lady was basically some sort of wise sage on stands, and he
Definitely
basically
possible.
was like,
Definitely
"Oh, I need
possible.
this person to teach me about it."
For sure. Maybe that's another thing. Maybe his stand being tied to a bloodline of someone that's not connected to him is making him a little crazy, because in a way his stand is a bit schizophrenic.
But the idea that everything he has now he's still getting from the Joestars.
Yes, that's a very
Jonathan?
good point.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good point. He could be like Cars in a
Wow.
way, trying to transcend
Oh.
Jonathan's body. He
Okay,
might be like,
yeah.
no, I'm so sick of having to rely on this dead man's body.
I just had a thought.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do this because it might be seen as something that would like reduce Dio's cool factor.
Okay.
But I could see this happening where say if it was a different character in Dio's position,
Okay.
that they realize, wait a minute, even everything I got, even becoming a vampire and all that
Oh.
stuff, I got because of Jonathan and the
Right.
Joestars. And even now, I'm alive because of Jonathan and the Joestars. And this power that I have because of Jonathan and the Joestars.
Yeah.
Without them, what am I?
Right.
I'm nothing.
So that's the identity crisis.
Exactly,
then.
that's the identity crisis.
I love it.
And if he did have a stand that was like looked like an apparition of Jonathan or something like that,
Right.
that would make it even more fitting.
Yes, I love this.
I mean, and again, will they do that? Probably not, because it would
They
like
could do a semblance.
they
of it.
could because again, it's one of those things where it's adding maybe more internal conflict to Dio than they want, but it could be really cool.
I think that adding internal conflict to Dio is a good way to make the scenes where we go back to him interesting.
Sure.
Because up until this point, he didn't seem to have anyone else there. But now this adds context to when he was talking, just out loud.
yes.
He might have been talking to her. Mm-hmm. And I'm really interested to see why she's alive and not
Right.
getting drank
Exactly.
by these other ones there, beyond just the mentor side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But with them going on this, just going back to their Jules Verne adventure that they're
Right.
about to have, how much time do you think they'll spend slice of lifing it versus kind of high octane adventure? Do you
Stand
think
of the week kind of a thing?
funny? Yeah, I could see that being the case. But if they focus on the world building bit and actually delving into character interactions, like just making these 5 characters be this squad of just merry band, I really want that.
Sure,
that hasn't happened in JoJo's thus far.
Here's a way that I can see them totally doing it. I don't think they'll do too much of the slice of life type stuff, but since this is an adventure, I could see them going for something along the lines of like just general comedy, like the antics that they get up to.
Antics,
as they're traveling,
hijinks and random encounters. Yes, I am all for that.
Just causing trouble and getting into trouble.
Training their own stands.
Sure.
They could encounter allies along the way as well that aren't necessarily going to join them,
right?
But are people that could help teach them specific things about their stands.
Possibly. I don't think they'll do as much. Like they might do that. I don't think they'll do as much of that though as they did with say like Part 2, because they have so many people in the core, group.
I don't know. JoJo's could get ambitious and make the cast a lot bigger than
it could.
It ever has been before.
Could.
And when I said that they haven't done any of this in the past, I know that they had their little bands and squads in part 1 and 2.
And
but this is a different type of
right. They're
of
very
adventure.
clearly setting it up to be different than what has come before.
Right, plot structure and even character dynamic structure. Because if anything, part 1 and 2 were mirrors of each other. In a lot of ways, whereas part 3 seems to be completely different in structure and even in character archetypes that they're bringing into the squad, so to speak.
Right, it's kind of the idea that the only thing you know about JoJo's is that they won't do the same thing twice. Like they'll keep changing things up, even if they do things that have like similarities. They'll keep it different.
Yes, if anything, they will always shift things by a degree. They will not do things. They will do things similarly, but they will not do anything exactly the same.
Right.
But that's a good point to bring up, Jacob, is that they're going to continuously show us a new angle on things, in that they won't do things the same way twice. But I would say because they've done things actually the same way twice in a structure-wise thing with part 1 and 2, this one is proof that they won't really do that again. Because, because stands by their own nature shake up the entire dynamic of the show.
That's true.
Like, with stands, they almost never have to go back to Hamon again. Like, they did that little bit, which I liked, where Joseph destroyed the little bug thing that was controlling Kakyoin with Hamon. With just a simple overdrive. It's dead.
That was nice to be like, yes, Hamon still exists.
Right.
It hasn't just been rewritten out of.
But Soul Energy Avatar kind of beats, light energy kind of stuff.
Right. It's the idea that that's yesterday's stuff. There's better things that exist now.
Right. And also in this instance, Dio might be like, when he's eventually defeated, like he might be the last vampire. Like,
sure, so Hamon, like, Hamon is really only super effective against vampires and Pillarmen as far as we've seen.
Right, that's
so
true.
It could just be that it's like, Hamon still exists, but they don't really have a reason to use it.
Yeah. I was really thinking that discussion bit we had around Dio was really good. Because I think with Dio, he's actually one of the more predictable aspects of JoJo's in a good way.
Yeah.
And I think that having an antagonist that... in and of himself, he is predictable. His character. And I like that because it means he's internally consistent. But the actions, like the actions and the environmental stuff surrounding Dio, getting changed and shifted and evolving, I love that stuff.
Yes.
Like, that's the kind of thing where we go, ooh, good, Dio's back. We know what kind of things to expect from his character, like when his voice speaks and when he moves and he does these things. We're like, that's typical Dio.
Right. But in
with the story,
it's going to be something different.
He evolves with it. Right. So, I'm kind of curious about this fight coming up in the next bit because I see him, the new Street Fighter looking guy, to be someone who might not be controlled by Dio and therefore will want to have some kind of an honor duel with Avdol.
Sure.
And this would be cool to have the main character, Jotaro, and kind of the semi-main character, Joseph, kind of take a step back and go, this is what happens when two stand masters... Yes. I must admit, I did not intend for that one. That one was purely accidental.
But
I would like to see that.
The stand is armor. So, like...
Jacob's all for that.
I'm all about that.
Even if it's medieval, old school armor.
Yeah, just any kind of armor.
It's good.
Yep.
And do you have any predictions on what the stand's abilities are, other than just being a battle-type fencing?
No, some kind of precision, misdirection, that kind of stuff. But because it seemed to, like parry the fire and things like that. But
yeah, I was actually thinking that the armor might be one of those energy redistribution, absorption, redirect kind of things. So the stand energy that comes into the armor, it can then use it to put, like, because I'm almost thinking about this from a Hunter x Hunter standpoint. Like, I saw him put the fire clock thing there, and that could be style, but that might be a condition. Like, it's just like,
gotcha.
If you don't beat me before that time is up, you will die.
Okay. Yeah, possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah. I could see that. I mean, they had scissors cutting people from far away. So
Yes, we'll just have to wait
never
and
know.
see.
We will.
And guys, if you want to see that reaction to the next episode right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get our early access. You can also watch full-length reactions, which comes with all the previous stuff in the Patreon as well. You can chat with us on Discord there. And yeah, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.